Welcome everyone to My Simple Land, your guide for buying, selling, maximizing rural land value here in Virginia. On this channel, you're going to hear expert tips on buying and selling land, market insights, and just fun little videos like this, like today. Today's video is about medical kit. And so if we haven't met, my name is Luke Miller. I live here in Virginia, buy a ton of land here. And I can help you with whatever you're looking for. If you're looking to buy land, if you're looking to hear how to sell your land easier. So stay tuned, we'll have a bunch of videos about that. But right now, today, I am sharing a must-have thing that you will want to have when you're driving around, looking at land, when you're exploring land, when you're walking around on land. And frankly, it's pretty important for many reasons, and that's actually a med kit. Medical kit. And this all started from sort of a story on a piece of land that I was looking at. I actually went and looked at this land, and I was walking around, and wouldn't you know, there's a pile of wood there, and I should have known, I should have, I've done it before, but I should have known not to walk on that. And actually I was wearing these extra tough boots, which are wonderful, and they might be tough in some regards, but not with nails. And unfortunately, what I did is I stepped on a nail, and probably a rusty nail. I couldn't see, it was a little bit dark, but wouldn't you know, definitely definitely got hurt pretty badly. And so lost a little bit of blood, not too much, but it went pretty far in. And you know, I was 4 hours from my house, and gosh, I thought I was prepared with medical kit. You know, I'd gone through a Stop the Bleed class previously, kind of a former Army guy gave a men's group that I'm a part of some medical advice, and so I went out and bought a bunch of stuff. And wouldn't you know, I didn't have the basics on how to take care of a relatively minor wound. And so I actually had to cut our trip short, walk back and drive back and take care of this so it didn't get worse. And anyway, so we're going to talk today about some tips, obviously, and what you can do to better prepare, be more prepared than I was. And so that starts with medkit. So we're gonna talk about some stuff here on the back of the land scouting vehicle, the mule here. And I'm just gonna turn this around. And all right, so the first thing that I kind of want to talk through is you'll see a few things here. This is part of what I wanted to talk about, but not all of it, and I'll get into that in just a second here. But just to start, we're going to move these two things away and just talk about this. All right, so this is what they call an IFAK, or an individual first aid kit, and this is what I had in my truck. You saw at the beginning where I grabbed it out. That's where I keep it, and I actually keep it in all of our vehicles. That was some of the advice that I got, is to keep, especially if you have kids, keep it in the same spot in all your vehicles, and make sure everybody knows where it's at. But this is what I ordered. I ordered it from a different company other than Rhino Rescue, but basically it's kind of slick how this works. You can just kind of rip this open and all of this stuff comes out. So this is from Rhino Rescue, this bag anyway, but the contents are from, let's see, yeah, Blue Force Gear. It's a little chapstick thing here. And this is like pretty basic stuff if you're any sort of medic at all. But main thing is, you got some trauma dressing, you got some quick clot, you got some tape and tourniquet, gloves, and some other stuff. And I really thought that, and when I got that stuff, I was like, oh man, we're squared away now. Like we got a tourniquet, we got some tape, we got some gauze, we're good to go. And what I found out pretty quickly was I was not good to go. I didn't have the basics. And so you're like, okay, well, what is the basics? Well, let's talk about some of the things I wish I would have had in this kit. All right, so some of the things I wish we would have had in the truck is obviously some real basic stuff that I didn't even think about. You know, we have some Band-Aids in the truck, but they weren't in the same place as the med kit, so it was kind of hard to get to them. But frankly, you can hear I got a plane going over me right now. But you know, frankly, you couldn't even find the Band-Aids, and it wasn't easy. And a Band-Aid really wouldn't have been that helpful anyway, because it was on the bottom of my foot, and you know, what I really needed to do was make sure that wound was clean as best I can. You know, obviously going to the doctor wasn't really possible with where I was at. And so some antiseptic wipes would have been great, or some sort of, you know, ability to clean a wound. Excuse me. Some sort of ability to clean a wound would have been great. But I barely even had that, frankly. I had some wet wipes that kind of helped clean it a little bit, but no real sterile antiseptic wipes or bandages and gauze. And so that's one of the main things I've packed in there right away, is bandages and gauze all in the same spot, because I just wanted to grab that kit and have everything there. Antibiotic ointment would have been helpful. I think that would have been a little bit nice to have. I don't know how much it would have done, but you know, cleaning out a wound is obviously important. Some tweezers, like I didn't know if there was anything in there that didn't belong in there, foreign debris, and it would have been nice to have a magnifying glass with some tweezers to make sure everything was okay. Some gloves, sterile gloves. I had one pair in there, but you know, I'd like to have 4 or 5 pairs, just to be comfortable. Pain relief, some Advil would have been nice, some ibuprofen or something to kind of help with the pain. It wasn't a lot, but it kept me awake most of that night, because it happened right at dusk, and so that would have been really helpful, actually. So cold pack, instant cold pack, you know, they make those little breakable small cold packs. That would have been awesome to have too. And maybe one of those bandages, like the wrap bandages, to keep the cold pack on my foot at night while I was sleeping, because you know, several times I woke up and it was just throbbing, and so that was obviously a problem. Some small scissors, like trauma shears, and medical tape. You know, I had a little bit of it, but you know, I'm definitely going to be putting in some more substantial tape, and alcohol pads, obviously. I think one of the most important things is just getting things as clean as possible if you can't get to a doctor right away. And you know, it was dark, so I couldn't really see how bad it was, and I never went back and looked right the night before or the day after. I just kind of left. But I'm sure that nail was rusty, and I'm sure it had dirt all over it and foreign debris, so cleaning that up would have been critical. And I do think I got lucky. You know, I was able to get home pretty quickly and take care of it, and you know, it wasn't too bad. But you know, obviously if you're walking around in areas that you don't really know, you really gotta be careful with what you're seeing, and make sure you have good boots on. And you know, I would say that's a rarity to find nails in pieces of wood with where you're walking around in the woods, but it's not uncommon, I would say. But if you're going into a piece of land that probably has a ton of nails or wood or trash everywhere, I wouldn't be wearing these extra tough boots. I would be wearing some shanked, like Red Wing boots, or more construction boots. But frankly, if it has that much trash, I probably wouldn't want to be there in the first place. Like I'd probably be passing on it. So anyway, that's basically what I wish I would have had there for that specific emergency, and quite a few probably. But let me show you a couple other things that I got. All right, let's move this out of the way. This is awesome. And so I wish I could find a link. Well, I know I can find a link for it, but I wish I could find like a cool GIF of it working. But these are basically suture, like stickers, closure kits is what they call them. But you can kind of see here, if you have a cut that needs stitches, and you don't have the ability to get stitches immediately, for whatever reason. These are really cool. So they're basically like zip ties with stickers, and you pull them, you stick them on, and then you pull them, and it zips that closure shut. This I wish I would have had several different times, that especially for kids, like you know, making sure that there's always those cuts where you're like, oh, well, is this worth going to the doctor and get stitches on or not? I would probably throw one of those on first before talking to you know, an ER specialist or something, and just seeing if it closes up quickly. And so these are really cool. I'm going to keep this in the car. The other thing, a splint kit. You know, this is just basic ones. There's different sizes, and then this is Rhino Rescue. So it's got different size splints. Obviously, if you're in the woods and you break an arm or something, you're going to want something that isn't just a stick or you know, one of those bushcraft splints. So I got one of those, but you know, you might think that that's kind of a waste, but you know, it's kind of like guns. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So picked that up, and you know, we're obviously going to be incorporating all this stuff in. Going to be getting all that stuff that I talked about and putting it somehow in this cool little Ziploc bag or zipper bag, excuse me. And gonna try and make sure we have that on the next trip out. All right, and that's really it. You know, these are the things that I think if you're gonna be running around tramping in the woods like me, you should probably have this as part of your kit. But frankly, you should probably have this for pretty much anything. I mean, I would imagine so. I was a little flabbergasted that I was so unprepared for such a minor injury. So you know, the medical stuff, it does kind of cost a lot of money, figuratively I suppose, or comparatively, but one ER bill will more than make up for this, and I can attest to many of those urgent care bills and ER bills that we've gotten for having kids. And so, you know, making an investment in this stuff will hopefully lessen stupid decisions like that, like I had. But anyway, what if you think I'm missing something, or if you're interested in getting some more tips like this, leave them down in the comments. I'm sure I'm missing stuff, and I would love to have an expert chime in, maybe someone who has some ER experience, or a nurse, or doctor, or whoever, letting me know what would make a good investment for that med kit. But anyway, all right, well, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you're interested in more content like this, like more vlog style videos about tips, tricks for land investing, how to buy, sell land, how to sell things quickly, or all things, you know, land investing, we're going to be talking about it a lot on YouTube. I had a couple of clips that had a lot of views on them, and I was kind of surprised that people were interested in learning about land. So it kind of gave me the drive to put in a little more effort into these YouTube videos and sort of help people out, understand some of the things I wish I would have learned when I first got started in land investing. So if you like that stuff, go ahead and subscribe, I guess, and you know, we'll do more content like that. And hopefully over the next few weeks you learn a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a video very regularly, probably at least twice a week. I've got just a huge list of videos that I think would be helpful to a lot of people that, you know, this isn't their main profession, but this is something that they want to know. So anyway, looking forward to chatting with you all. Make sure to leave a comment down below if you have any questions or if you have any ideas. Thanks, everyone.